the media, young and forever young. We are forever young. And Lourdes, welcome. Lourdes over there is going to collaborate with us on the corporate. So that's going to be a new satellite that we have. So may I just tell you about, very quickly, about NATASHA GOULBOURN Foundation. I want to show you the gentleman that got me into many trouble, and that's there. Attorney Jerry Paras. He got me into trouble by letting me handle a street children for 3 years with the French. But with that, I got to get very close to Gina Lopez, and she taught me how to run a foundation. So thank you, Jerry, for being the secretary, ready at all times of the foundation. Thank you very much. Then we've got Mila. I can't do it without saying hello to Mila, who I disturb at 1 and 2 in the morning. And then I disturb her and Michelle at 3 in the morning when I don't have enough money in the bank. So today I just want to tell you what NATASHA GOULBOURN Foundation was. 13 years ago, our very first, this is our logo. The dolphin is there because we saw 128 dolphins as a manifestation that people who commit suicide don't go to hell. So if you hear any priest saying that they go to hell, could you send that priest to me? Because they don't. Because the dolphins was a manifestation. When I prayed so badly after I lost my child, and it was very provocative. My interview last night with Carmina Constantino asking me, how do you feel giving up the word NATASHA GOULBOURN Foundation moving forward to 2020? We are going to move that name to New Good Feelings, and it will be New Good Feelings. NATASHA GOULBOURN still there in the background, but it will be known as NGF Mindstrong. So Natasha, you'll always be in our hearts, but I may have to give up your name because when we get international funding, Milat, so special to us. We knew her as a baby girl. We used to carry her, and that's why seeing you is very special today. Thank you, Milat, for the friendship. You have to give her up, her name. I'm okay with that because for international funding, they won't give you if it's in the name of a person. So we tested and tried, and with the go signal of Jerry Paras legally, we are slowly changing the name to NGF Mindstrong. But in my talks to the youth, I still bring her picture up. And when I asked the youth 8 years ago, when the bank said, I will not be able to give you any money unless you change the name, I asked 5 schools to vote, and they didn't want me to remove the NATASHA GOULBOURN Foundation. So we kept it for another 10 years. Today, as we celebrate 13th year, September was our 13th year, I would like to say moving forward is a new chapter. And having all these beautiful people here, it's a new chapter, Ed, for us. It's a very new chapter. Thank you for being in our lives. And so I'd like to introduce you to our chairman to talk about Hopeline. We have so many programs for Mindstrong, but the one that's tried and tested is the peer counseling, which I would like to share with many schools. And the other program is Wellness Emotional Resilience. It took us 3.5 years to do that. It will roll out in the Ed, but now we'd like to try it, hopefully with a university and a school like De La Salle, because it's for grade 4 to 12. In Tagalog, we did it, Tony, now we're rolling it. Isn't it beautiful? We're rolling it, it will be part of the curriculum. It's called Homeroom Guidance. So we will have 20 to 30 minutes of self-esteem, building the self-esteem, which is very important amongst the youth. By building their self-esteem and building them physically through sports, we hope that we can conquer half of the problems we're having with the youth. Now, those are the two programs that are very strong with us. We have a third program, but the peer counseling goes into academe. It is now going to be introduced to the corporate world with the help of Lourdes Velocino, who also has her foundation. So we will slowly pilot it in the corporate world. What I have put in the back burner, and I'm sorry I had to do it, Jimmy, because our relationship spanned 13 years ago when you funded us with 10 tickets to go to Hong Kong. We had 780 OFW who cried on the chest of Ricky Soler. So he had lipstick and tears and a little bit of sniffle on his t-shirt. And that's also happened to Cornelio Banaam, Dr. Corny Banaam. And so we will have to put that in the back burner, and we'll do that in 2021. Because right now, the program with Tutsi that you get involved with, and the program with our new Miss Ambassador of Hope, Sheila Suntay, it will be towards the youth in the academe and the out-of-school youth, including DepEd. So that's our program for 2020. But of course, we will listen to all the needs of whoever can help us. We would like now to introduce Mr. Julio, not Iglesias, but he can sing. He can sing. If you twist his arm, he'll sing. He owns a band, and I don't know, he did something with the oldest galleon ship, and I don't know, this man is a dreamer, he's an idealist with a big X factor. June C, may I call you up now to explain about the Hopeline.
Thank you, Jean. Jean kind of exaggerates things, but she weaves beautiful stories. We were supposed to have a program where she was supposed to talk about NGF, but I think she got carried away. So maybe I'll just kind of fill in some of the things that were supposed to be said. But anyways, just first to start with being a little bit more formal, I want to first welcome you to today's press launch of NGF Mindstrong. As Jean said, we're renaming the foundation NGF Mindstrong. And we have, of course, a new set of board of trustees. Jean still being there as the founding president. I volunteered to be a chairman. She asked me, she pulled my leg and asked me to be chairman. We have Carlos Abad, who handles finance, Jeffrey Paulino, a volunteer who's also going to handle a lot of our marketing efforts. Dr. Romy Enriquez, who could not come today, is going to head the medical advisory part of this board of trustees. I am here today because essentially I also have suffered from depression myself over the last 3 years, and I just got over it this year with God's grace and of course the loving support of my wife Pia and my family, my children, my parents, my siblings, and even my employees, because I run a company. They patiently allowed me to go through my depression to now be able to recover from that, and being here today is to be the chairman of this depression foundation. I also lost a sister due to depression about 12, 14 years ago, and that's how I met Jeannie, and we started Hopeline together because I wanted to do something for depression. So here we are today talking about NGF Mindstrong and asking for your help, because depression and suicide has become a really national mental health issue in these countries. And we wanted to share to you some statistics, because when Jeannie first came to me and talked to me again about coming and helping out with her foundation, I was really very disturbed when I saw the statistics that she showed me, and maybe we can show some of them here. About 3% of our population who are suffering from depression, so that makes about 3.3 million Filipinos. What's disturbing about it is that we used to be the last in terms of depression incidents about 10 years ago, but we have now become one of the fastest rising. In fact, in the latest stats that were put out, we have become the third or fourth country of depression incidents in the country, and the biggest growth of that age group is really teenage depression. A lot of it has to do with social media because the Philippines is one of the most active, if not the most active in social media in Asia. And that also accounts for the fact that teenage depression now accounts for actually 30%. So you could say that if we have 3 million Filipinos who are suffering from depression, about a million teenagers 18 and below are suffering from that. And I had a very, I was talking to a child psychiatrist, one of the leading child psychiatrists in this country, and I asked her, Dr. Nori, I said, how many child psychiatrists are there in this country? And she said, we only have 75. So how can 75 child psychiatrists handle 1 million teenage children? I mean, it's just a staggering problem to think about. And she went on further saying that there are more adult psychiatrists, there are about 600 of them in this country, and yet only 600 are really professionally prepared to handle 2 million adult depressed people. And depression is, of course, the leading cause of suicide in this country, so it's very much linked together. So, as a foundation, we made our plan and we said, how can we best address this growing issue of depression and suicide? One is through Hopeline, because Hopeline is the only 24/7 hotline, so it's the first response for people who are suffering from depression and suicide to call. But beyond that, so our plan this next year is really, as maybe as they are putting up the slides on depression, maybe I'll just talk a little bit about the programs we have lined up for next year and moving forward. Is we want to concentrate on two things. The first is Hopeline. How do we scale up Hopeline? We have 20 responders now, but because of the enormity of the problem, we want to increase this number further and do more. Because right now it's just calling in, we just receive calls. But we find out, I mean, the latest issue of Time Magazine, I was in the plane coming in today, and I read the latest issue, which is about health, and it talked about suicides, that the most effective way actually to stop suicide was really to reach out to the people who are suffering from depression or who are suicidal, and make sure that you're always in touch with them. So one of the things that we want to add as a feature is to also call back, to be able to, because right now we're just generating statistics. We get 80 calls a day. But what we'd like to do is, since we are overwhelmed, what we'd like to do is when we get these calls, we'd also like to be able to find out who are the most, the situation being so bad that we need to really be in touch with them all the time, because this is still found to be the most effective way of stopping them from committing suicide. So Hopeline is going to be a very important platform for us. The second, which Jean touched a bit, was about Mindstrong. So Mindstrong is really a training program and that's why Jean talked about our partnership with De La Salle University, which we're very excited about, is to come up with more training programs to really reach out to guidance counselors. Because we feel that guidance counselors in schools, both public and private, are going to be the first responders to provide peer counseling to address this growing problem of teenage depression. As I said, there are only 75 child psychiatrists in the country, so there's not enough professionals who can handle this problem. So as we create more awareness about depression to the teenage kids and also to their parents, the first thing they're going to ask is, where are we going to run to if we're faced with this? So we want to build more training programs with guidance counselors. With private schools, we feel that almost all private schools do have their own guidance counseling. The problem we have is with the public sector. There's about 25,000 public schools in this country, and only 800 of those 25,000 have actually a semblance of a guidance. They're not even guidance counselors, they're just what you call a guidance coach, because you need a master's degree to be a guidance counselor. So it's just so overwhelming. So we're also finding our ways to create a program to reach out to the LGUs and to see how we can work with the LGUs to also build a counseling system so that public school kids who are suffering from depression can go to their local health centers and have some form of first response or counseling. So we have so much to do. I think I was telling Jean that we do have a very big vision of what NGF should do. And I don't think that, we can address all of these issues. We need the support of everybody. And that's why I thank the press for being here today so that we can also reach out and we do have numbers and to call out for people to donate. We're also very, very fortunate to have already on board some strong partnerships from corporations. One is with Globe Telecom. They have committed to support NGF Mindstrong. The other one is also Smart Telecoms. I was remembering Ernest who was telling me that, I was saying, Ernest, can you support us? And he said, yes, of course we will support it. I said, what if I also ask support from Smart, your competitor? And he said, Jude, this is a problem that there should be no competition. We should all work together. So I want to thank Smart and Globe for signing in to be part of this whole journey with us. Lifeline, of course, is also here. We do have also some of our artists who have been here. I think Jean mentioned some of them. One of them is here. Is a very young artist who I admire very much, Evidence. Who's also a known advocate of depression. And we do have other advocates who've also signed the word. So I think we've already shown a lot of slides. We'll be giving it to the press so that they know more about the statistics. I don't want to spend more time on that. So I just wanted to end by saying thank you very much for being here today, for supporting us, for making this advocacy we have more well known, and we hope that one day we can create enough ripples so that more foundations, more organizations, and maybe government, which is really the only organization I think that can handle this on a national level, will really respond to this and hopefully work together with us to be able to really address this major health issue. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.